Hello everyone, this is Nihal. I am from College Dunia. Today we have another episode on thoughts of education. Today we have Mr. Naresh Gowda sir, who is a principal in MIT Mysore. Hello sir, how are you doing?
Yes, fine, sir. Fine. I hope all are doing fine in this pandemic.
Right. I
Yes.
hope everyone is feeling
Yeah.
safe. Right. So, sir, I'll be asking you my first question. You have held this position in the education field for several years throughout your professional career, if put it that way. What are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector?
Pardon me and repeat the question.
Sure. You have held this position at Education Institute throughout your professional
Yeah.
career, right? What are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector?
To be in this education sector successfully, you should first become a good teacher as a faculty so that you can reach almost in a class of 60, if you can able to reach around 50% of the students in first attempt itself, then you can be called as a good teacher so that you can continue in the profession. And because since I was in the position of AICT advisor for several times, for 3 years, which is 2002 to 2005. So myself and other my colleagues started this institution here, MIT Mysore, and we are running this institution since 2007 successfully, I can say. Barring last 2 years because of this pandemic, so many problems have arisen. So otherwise, we are doing it better. Not problem.
Thanks for the answer, sir. And it's true that to be in this education sector at your level, first you need to be a better teacher, and I totally agree with that one. The second question, sir. Being the principal of MIT Mysore, what is your philosophy of leadership, and how do you describe your leadership style?
Yeah, my philo as I got an experience from a lot of institutions. Now, when I become principal, I just learned that first thing is whenever a stakeholder enters into the campus, I should be in a position to talk to them and explain what are the facilities available. And not only that, I don't insist them to join this institution. First thing I'll tell you, if you have very good percentage and very good marks and other things, I will inform them that you can get in other institutions, better institutions, you can say. But and then after all the discussions, then they will all feel that this is the best place to join here, and we take care of the students as you can say our own children. And our institution particularly is most respected by the parents,
Okay.
although little by students also, but we can call it as a parent college than a student college.
Oh,
So that's, and then with respect to management is concerned with the colleagues, faculty and non-teaching faculty and all. And the first to work anything, I will say, I will start, you can follow. So instead of instructing them to do this, then I'll start that doing that work, then automatically they will follow that. When somebody is doing, then they will all feel that, yes, we have to do this work. And that is my management principle.
right. So basically, your leadership style would be leading first by doing yourself, and then
Yeah. We have.
that's
So
great.
that is to show them the path, then they will follow the path.
Exactly. That is true. That was a great answer. Thank you for the answer. Next question. Being the principal at MIT Mysore, how do you strategize about the key programs and plans for the marketing and administration of the school?
I didn't. Yes, be louder.
Okay, sir. I asked, being the principal at MIT Mysore, how do you strategize programs for marketing and administration for your school?
Master administration.
Yeah.
Talking about administration,
Marketing and administration.
marketing and administration. Yes. So basically, when we started here, so particularly this institution started by teachers only.
Okay.
No other philanthropist, or you can say any other builder or politician. Nothing. We are all teachers from science and engineering background. We started this, and when we started in 2007, without any marketing, we could able to fill around 90% of the seats in the first year itself. That itself is a boost for us.
Right.
And our marketing is our stakeholders, you can say. We do a little bit of marketing, but not at that fullest extent of spending a lot of money on marketing and going to all places to attend so many webinars and so complementary that one conferences for admissions thing, all those things. But we can able to fill through the stakeholders, and the parents are our, you can say, brand ambassadors, and students are also know they're feeling that MIT is the best place to study. So this is our best thing, and already told in the beginning itself, I will make a point that I will talk to each parent whenever they come for admission, whether they take admission or not. I have made it a point that I will talk to all 600 at a time. So that helps a lot of things amongst the fraternity of MIT. So they come here and talk not only to the aspect of joining, and even in general also some of them are visiting our college to take the input. We help them for admissions through CET and admission process also. Single window system is there in Karnataka. For that, we help a lot of them also. They may not come to MIT. So that will make them in their mind that they will give an option to MIT also when they come for admissions.
Thanks
That
for
is the major strategy. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the answer. What I've understood from this answer is your main marketing source are the parents and the alumni of the college, right?
Yeah.
The parents are the mouth marketers for you, and the alumni are the brand you represent, the stakeholders, right? That is how you are. That's great. So the education system in India and other foreign countries are structured very differently, right? In your experience, what can an inbound student gain from studying in your institute as compared to studying outside?
This is the basic question you should better ask to those who made policies in India or in particularly in state of Karnataka. We have to start changing the system from the basic education itself, from kindergarten to PG. And nowadays I am facing here the problem of character. So their behavioral characters, attitude we can say. So what my philosophy is intelligent plus character. That is the goal for the true education. You have to be intelligent along with the character. Only getting marks and getting first class with distinction will not do that. If you don't have an attitude, then it will be a problem. So it is missing nowadays. The ethics, values, personality, all those things are missing. We have to inculcate all these things. Particularly in India, we follow a lot of things. So we have to inculcate all these things into their education, so that nowadays they are starting to add some ethical values and all those things. But ethical values and these things, we cannot teach that.
Right.
It has to come within him. Then they should get that education from the basic, from their house itself. So later on, they will follow. Every student will look at a role model. So how their teacher behaves. So everybody will not remember all the teachers in their life. They will remember some of them, and they will follow like. So we have to be very careful when behaving with the students and talking with the students, so that they will talk outside how I am behaving in the classroom, all those things. Some of them will follow me. So it may be dangerous or it may be good also. It depends on the student how he will take these words of mouth. So that we have to be very careful, and these things you have to input to the sitting at Delhi, NCRT, all those AICT or MHRD, that UGC, so that they can inculcate all these things into their syllabi, so that we can teach them, or we can mold a student, a perfect human being, or to serve the society at large.
That's a very great explanation, sir. Like why character is very important along with your intelligence, and I totally believe in that, sir. And an attitude, that too, a positive attitude towards your approach is very important to succeed.
Yeah.
Totally agree, sir. Next question, sir. How does the curriculum at MIT Mysore ensure the best practice of industry?
Yeah, with respect to curriculum, you're asking curriculum.
Yeah, the curriculum at MIT Mysore, how does it ensure the best industry practice?
Yeah, in fact, at present we are in affiliating system. affiliated to Vishwesvaraya Technological University, Belagavi. It's in Karnataka, Technical University in Karnataka. We have to follow the academic curriculum as per them. There is no other option. But in addition to that, each department has their own procedure to inculcate other things other than the syllabi, what we can say. So, and that is the art of the day also. Now we have to inculcate other factors into them so that they will fit into the industry. And for that purpose, we call a lot of industry persons to deliver the lectures, deliver the talk, maybe online or maybe virtually or maybe directly.
Okay.
So nowadays, we have to do only virtual now. So that is the problem. And through them, they will learn a lot of things required for the industry.
Okay.
Or maybe corporate sector also. So along with that, we do a lot of training for the students before they appear for their placement drive and others.
Okay.
So all these things will help them a lot. And for some of the students will take that seriously. Some of them will not. You know that better. How we do when we are students.
Correct.
So we try them. We train them in such a way that, and in fact, in our college we follow very strictly the procedures, attendance, all those things. We inform the parents also, like the school system. The award has not come today and all. So that also affects. So we follow them very seriously. So every 2 hours we inform their parents whether they are here or not. And in fact, some of them are very happy that the system will do better for their ward also.
Okay, that's great. So that the kind of management you are doing with the students, like as you said, informing parents every 2 hours is not an easy task, just to understand, because you have so many students in the college. So that's great if you are doing that. Now, next question, sir. Any insights into how your university could be more welcoming to students of different races or economic backgrounds? And by economic backgrounds, I mean students coming from different financial stability and instability. Is there any scholarship or alumni sponsorship offered to some students if they have good packages?
In fact, our college is situated in a rural belt itself, particularly here in the outskirts of Mysore, but in the rural belt. And we get a lot of rural background students itself. And we can say poverty level is also a bit low also. And depending on their percentage, we have some schemes internally other than the government. So government has so many policies here, like your scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, they will give total tuition fees from the government. And other categories, other backward communities, they also get little bit, not that much amount. And we have the schemes for the, what we can say, the bright students. Those who get 85% and above in a year, we directly say that next year fees we will be getting 50% reduction.
Okay.
That we are considering. And other than that, we do a lot of concession depending on their conditions.
Okay.
Verifying them whether it is true or false, then we do a lot of concession in their fees for all the 4 years also. Plus, in addition to that, our teachers have a group that they will also help to some student in their own department. They have separate schemes for scholarship or fee concession like that. That helps a lot. So, and then further, going on to that one, we don't collect the fees at one time. So we collect in installments so that it helps them to pay the fees in maybe semester wise or as and when they get it. So there is no restriction that you have to pay a deadline, this one and that. So there will be there on the line paper, deadlines are there, but we follow these things. So we do know the problems of the parents in and around here. And we, looking at that particular condition, we use our management will be fair enough to give them concession or time and whatever.
Thank you, sir. That's great insight on how you help the students of different backgrounds. That's great to listen.
Yeah.
And so here comes the next question, sir. As a principal at MIT Mysore, what do you feel your major roles and responsibilities are towards university and students?
Finance.
No.
I didn't.
Like at your level, what do you
Yeah.
feel your major role and responsibilities are towards the college and the student, as per you?
Yeah. My role as a principal is administrator, of course. It is there to look after the academic and non-academic administration. So we have two deans looking after the admin section and as well as research. Our institution is also a good in research. I think almost around 90 plus students are doing their doctoral degree with our guides in the MIT Mysore itself. And my first principle is to go and teach first 2 hours in the class and then come back to the principal position. So that will make some teachers may feel that yes, we have to follow that at least so that it will help the system. I don't need to go and come to you, Nihal, why you are not taking class and all those things. That will not never happen in our institution, but because they all follow strictly the timetable, whatever's given to them. And we made a policy that if anybody is emergency, they have to alter the class and go so that students should not suffer. So their education should not fall down. So that's all these things we have made up in mind. And then one of the best system in our college is we have to train the teachers during the holidays. Training the teachers is one step, and that means training the teachers is not really training. Then they have to deliver the next upcoming semester's subjects in front of other teachers.
Right.
Video record will be done and give it to him that he can make some corrections in their delivery of the material so that they will make comments also other teachers. So all are free to do comments. So that will help their career also.
Correct. Thanks for the answer, sir. The next question, sir. What do you think should be the university's top priority over the next 10 years? Or MIT Mysore's top priority over the next 10 years?
Yeah, our priority now, because we are constrained by the university with respect to syllabus and their schedule of calendar of events and all those things. Maybe to start with, we may go for autonomous system. So there's autonomy in education. They will give autonomy first, or we may think of going for university also. We are planning that also. Already some papers are submitted to our state government to make a university. So MIT will become a university here. Maybe in 10 years of time, we can expect some MIT university.
Right. So that's true, sir. Autonomy does brings a lot of freedom to the college and the changes they can do as per the requirement of the student. That's really that's great. What do you see MIT's greatest strength?
Teaching.
Teaching. Okay.
Teaching is the greatest strength of the MIT because I didn't told you our trust members, all of them will teach here.
Okay.
So even starting from president, secretary, joint secretary, myself, everybody teaches a subject, at least a minimum one. I have a chance of taking 2 subjects every semester. That is the major strength of MIT. Strength is teaching and the discipline with the students.
Okay.
Discipline, what we try to bring them. Of course, we get a lot of complaints from here and there from students. They want to be free. We are professionals, engineers, but over and above, you should be a human being first. So, taking that in mind, we are telling them we have to follow whatever the conditions of the college.
Okay, sir. I am with the final question of the interview.
Okay.
Any suggestion that you would like to give to the current youth and aspiring students?
Yeah, current youth, I will just repeat Nelson Mandela's word: education is the most powerful weapon which you can use not to destroy, to change the world. that will be the most. And then they have to think that one's education is not the end of their career. So lifelong learning should be there. So that they have to inculcate within their characteristics. That's why we have to improve their character to become a perfect human being. So he will help his country, first of all, motherland. Then he can grow on his own.
So thank you so much for the answer, sir. And thank you for giving us time to take this interview with you. It was really insightful, like how MIT Mysore's functioning works and how they ensure the quality education in for students. Truly inspiring words. Thank you so much.
And just close this interview with a word from the CPJ Harris. The whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows. You should not look at you only, you should look at the outside world so that you can develop yourself and then flourish in your life. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So much, sir. That was great.